Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's ItzSawk here, and today I'm bringing you guys another week of the weekly recaps for the Sword Division, and I am not alone.
What is going on, guys? My name is JB Westside, and there was a lot of really good games this week.
There was a lot of good games this week, but first and foremost, thank you all so much for the continued support on the series. We appreciate you guys showing what you guys like, what you guys didn't. Keep up the energy in the comment section. We'll keep the energy on here. Before we go anywhere else, buy yourself a shirt. WBE store link down below. Whether it's your favorite team or just a generic WBE logo. Mine actually came in earlier today, so I'm repping it and I'm pretty happy about it. It's comfortable, so go get yourself one.
Yeah.
With that, let's roll into our first game of the day here. We have the Rochester RHYDONS versus the New Orleans Pelipers. So Iron Boffin for the RHYDONS and John aka Pokemon 7 for the Pelipers. Now, Boffin brought a team of Suicune, Shaman, Weavile, Metagross, Mega Altaria, and Blaziken. And then John brought a team of Vaporeon, Mudsdale, Mega Diancie, Diggersby, Decidueye, and Alakazam.
John got a lead matchup right, PogChamp.
First thing first, and JB, your favorite mon on his team, did work.
You know I got love for my heart for Mudsdale, and seeing it put in so much work is awesome to see. And yeah, really good set there, of course. A couple things worth noting in prep. I really like that John knew that Boffin preferred to bring a lot of Toxic, so bringing Hillbell and Vaporeon was really clean. Boffin's Suicune set was also cool. Who needs Scald? Like, just run Extra Sensory and Ice Beam. Who needs Scald? It's Suicune. It's a cool set.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing Boffin pointed out to me was he found it kind of weird how many transactions coaches get, and I kind of looked at it, and it's kind of baffling. Coaches get like 6 transactions for free, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like 5 free agency moves and unlimited trades. So John pretty much kind of gutted his team recently, if you guys know. So it was a lot for Boffin to prep for, kind of, because he started his prep early, just trying to get ahead of the game here. And so he had to stop his prep and re-prep again for the new team. And it really showed, because Vaporeon did way too much work.
Yeah, it really did. It's just, you know, something that sort of happens like on the week in a season where the trade deadline is. So you just, you know, it's kind of something that you need to just have experience for. But yeah, it's just unfortunate circumstance there. Facade Mega Altaria was a really good breeding ground and fairy spam. Sort of just went in a lot. Had Mega Altaria been able to put in a little bit of work. But once again, this is a story of Boffin letting Shaman go too early. It just opened the door for Diggersby to kill everything. He lost his only way of killing Vaporeon. It just never died unless he was able to get set up. But yeah, getting rid of Shaman for John just took so much pressure off his team for him to just whittle his opponent down and ultimately win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It was John just kind of put a lot of pressure on it. Like I said, as soon as Shaman died, Boffin got put on the back foot, and it kind of showed. Going into our next game here, a legitimate candidate for game of the season was Patters and his Newcastle NIDOKINGS versus Automathic and his Nuzleafs.
The Nuzleafs.
I think Otto tried to tell me one time how to pronounce it,
it's
but
like
I don't remember.
Nemasian or something.
I think it's Nemagan.
Yeah,
I'm going to roll with Nemagan, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yes, we butchered the crap out of that. Dumb Americans are dumb. But anyway, Patters brought a team of Mega Gyarados, Snorlax, Escavalier, Tapu Koko, Typhlosion, and Hippowdon. And Otto brought a team of Mega Camerupt, Scizor, Granbull, Latios, Tangela, and Cobalion.
Now, first things first, what a match. This was literally one for the hype trailer for next season.
Absolutely.
It was an absolute gem of a game to watch Patters' side. At the end, Scarf Typhlosion putting in work was awesome. And it was kind of funny to see Patters Googling Blaze Range. I thought that was kind of funny. I loved how he did preserve the item on Snorlax from a knockoff, knowing he can't recycle it. So I thought that was really good on his end, kind of remembering some things that people may not know.
Mega Camel put in a ton of work early on, spreading toxics to bulkier things like Lax and Hippo. Helped Otto get a little bit, of a head up in that department. But with it being, but once it went down, it was really his only thing that kept Typhlosion in check. And as you can see by the score, Typhlosion kind of just went in with this game. But I thought Otto did a very good job of controlling the early game, between pivoting between Mega Camel, Scizor, and Tangela. So yeah, Otto played very well for his first game of the season for sure.
Yeah, and Otto did a really good job. The end game was kind of hard for him. It just didn't work out. He was kind of put in a bad situation when his Lottie was, I think, -4 after 2 Dracos as Typhlosion came in.
Yeah.
So, like, there's not a lot he could do. Yeah, he couldn't stay in because Latios was his way of winning. He had to hope he either... I think there was a small roll to kill Typhlosion.
Yeah.
I think. Or he had to crit him with the Draco. So it was a rough end game for him. But shout out to Patters for kind of whittling that end game out.
Pursuit chip he got on Lottie with his Cavalier was huge, which led to that end game being so much in his favor with Typhlosion.
Yeah, absolutely. Escavalier doing some work down there. It was kind of cool to see. I love Escavalier. It's a cool mon.
Yeah. Patters played his stacks perfectly, and eventually, just letting Typhlosion come in and kill other things. This felt like the game where we've been waiting for everything to come together for Patters, and it finally did. He's had a couple of rough games where stuff just barely doesn't go his way, and he barely ends up losing, but this game felt like the one where it finally all came together for him, and he was able to pick up that big win.
And I feel like this is going to be the start of exactly. Everything did come together, yes, and it was a small win. However, this feels like a stepping stone game for Patters, where this is going to be one of those. Okay, you did really well this game. Now show us what you can do next.
For sure.
And if he steps up, we could see him at a playoff push.
Yeah, same thing with. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, if he takes a step down, we could see him kind of fall off and taper out, and someone else could step in.
Very similarly, I want to say like Otto. This is a very good, stepping point for him to try to get back into a playoff hunt. There's still plenty of time left in the season for him to make a run as well. And if he keeps playing like he did in this game, I could very easily see him making a run.
I think the record he inherited was like 2-3, and I was 2-4, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So he's by no means out of the playoff hunt.
No, not at all.
Which, shout outs to next week. You guys are going to see a pretty cool show after the transactions are done. We're going to a new show, but you guys have to wait to see that.
Get teased.
Make sure you're subscribed. Going into our next game here. Oh, this was such a good game. We have the South Texas SABLEYES, coached by Vivid Color, versus K Cray and her LA Spice. Now, Vivid brought a team of Rapidash, Nidoking, Sneasel, Galvantula, Mega Aggron, and Mew, versus K's team of Mega Houndoom, Crobat, Mimikyu, Magnezone, Garchomp, and Starmie.
Yep. Alright, so a couple things I want to point out. Z Safeguard Mimikyu? What? That's clean.
She's off her rocking chair.
For real. But defensive regular Garchomp, as a Luigi counter was clean. But even before I got into the game, I noticed immediately that her offensive Mega Aggron answer just didn't exist. And again, as you can see by the scorecard, Rock Polish 3 attacks Mega Aggron really just destroyed everything on her team. She had Garchomp, which could have done some things and some stuff, but it was forced to check other mons and worry about other things like Haluja, which thankfully didn't come. And Magnezone also just gets Earthquake, which he ended up having Earthquake. But yeah, it's just Mega Aggron put in the finest of work this game.
You could say that Mega Aggron set was very polished.
I see.
I'll stop with the bad puns. The crit on Chomp was terrible because K
suck.
Yeah, K did not have an answer for the Rock Polish Mega Autobot.
No, but I mean, he did still have Sneasel in the back, so it wasn't the end of the world if she would have got the Dragon Tail off.
Yes, yeah.
But sacking Vivid sacking have his team the Mega Houndoom early was scary, but he knew Mega Aggron won, so it wasn't like the easiest, or the most difficult thing ever for him to come back from. And she unintentionally gave him the perfect setup opportunity to quick Rock Polish by having Mimikyu in and switching out, and he just had the freest Rock Polish ever.
I love how Vivid was always looking at his quote-unquote lines, looking for his ways to win. What's his line to win here? What's K's line to counter him? You can kind of see into how he plays, and this is why Vivid, in my opinion, is one of the top 6 best players in this league. You could see this game, he knew exactly what he needed to do to get Mega Aggron in and just to win.
Absolutely.
He figured out his positioning, and he put himself in the best line to win. But the Galvantula.
Yikes.
Now, on K's side, Mega Houndoom was played perfectly in the first little bit of the game when it was in. It just did exactly what it needed to. Not predicting too much, but making the basic reads, and it paid off for a really early start. But when Galvantula set up webs, I think that is the pivotal moment of the match, because she knew she had to get rid of the webs in order to try to check the Mega Aggron.
Yeah.
And so Vivid being able to realize, hey, webs need to go up, forcing the Starmie to be in on the Mega Aggron when he can't do much to it, to give Mega Aggron the ability to kill and kind of start steamrolling itself. I think that was really big.
Exactly.
But as everyone knows, say it with me, everyone, hacks is a win con.
For sure. That's kind of like one of those things where it's been something to me and some friends of mine have talked about that, you know, sometimes hazard removal loses you so much momentum that it's almost not even worth it, and this was sort of like a showcase for that, where sort of concentrate a lot.
Yeah, JB is absolutely right there. Sometimes hazard removal is needed, like, say, in our next match here, but it's sometimes needed, sometimes not. But let's get into our next match. Speaking of hazard removal, we have the Minnesota VIKAVOLTS, coached by Dan, aka 8Drive, versus the Pittsburgh Pichus, coached by NEWCASTLE. And what an upset this was.
For sure, this was a great game. Dan brought a team of Mega Manectric, Huron Black, Florges, Talonflame, Zoroark, and Skarmory. Nexus brought a team of Magmortar, Swampert, Mega Medicham, Goodra, Zapdos, and Doublade.
Now, at first when JB showed me this slide, because I hadn't watched the game yet, I thought he accidentally swapped Mega Medicham and Magmortar. I'm like, yeah, Mega Medicham got 3 kills, that sounds about right. And then I looked at the heat of the week submissions and Magmortar was on there. I'm like, what?
That's phenomenal. Stylium Z, Iron Tail, Mach Punch, and I believe Flamethrower and T-Bolt?
Fire Blast.
Fire Blast, yeah. Yeah, really good set. Just obviously putting in a ton of work, getting rid of Florges, which made, you know, Goodra's job of just sitting there like that much easier.
So easy.
Yeah. Metronome Huron Black was also clean, I want to point out. I love Metronome as an item, just a great item. I don't really have much else to say other than the word item in that sentence, but yeah.
One of the best items in the game?
Perhaps.
It's not the best item, though. We all know that. Best item's Expert Belt, and I will fight that to the day I die.
This guy gets it.
But Nexus played phenomenally.
He
got in Dan's mind early and never let off the gas, forcing Dan to make plays he would not normally make.
Yep. I just, like I said, you know, put it, like you just said, rather, put him on the back foot, you know, with some, you know, tricky plays. I do want to point out Dan made an incredible read. The Zapdos, clicking Ice Beam on Zapdos in front of the Blade was a great play, you know, putting Zapdos low and being able to keep it low and eventually killing it. But Nexus just got Magmortar in at this perfect time and just was able to, you know, put in a ton of work, clean up late game, obviously, and, you know, getting rid of Dan's best way of dealing with Goodra.
And I think it really showed Dan when someone gets in his head with his plays. Like, if they start reading him and understanding him, it messes with his game completely, and he never got back to his self. He seemed really rushed and not thinking in his plays like the usual Dan we know.
Yeah.
So that could be something that the other coaches, like Nexus, like Joey, like Wolflick, like Patters, like Vivid, everyone in this division can kind of exploit by making one good prediction, getting in Dan's head. So I think it's not something to like become very conscious about, but it's something to look at for the future.
Yeah. You know, it's like that with, you know, a lot of great players. If they get thrown off the game, then what else do they have to fall back on? And Dan didn't really have the greatest fallback plan. Once, of course, KB went down early, and then again, with Florges going down, he just didn't have a whole lot of a backbone. He had a very passive Skarmory set. His Zoroark set was cool. Bet he wished he put Sludge Bomb on it at this point. Maybe. Not really, though, but Talonflame put in a lot of work offensively. Had he clicked Swords Dance, but that's a 50-50. You know, it's whatever. It's
a 50-50. He didn't
Talonflame
win.
definitely could have brought that game back had he.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's what I meant by hazard removal, because it came in so early. He kind of had to 50-50 himself into, okay, do I click Roost or can I just click SD? If he was at full HP, at that moment he clicks SD and that game turns.
Yeah, it's probably a Talonflame sweep we're looking at. Rather, he was, you know, forced into the 50-50 of wanting to stay healthy or setting up to win, and he chose to Roost instead.
Yeah,
just wasn't able to have enough damage output to clean up the game at top lane.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. However, what happens is not something I predicted in this next game. The Milwaukee SAWSBUCKS, coached by Magnitude, versus the Free State Torcatch, coached by Duncan Can't Die. Now, Duncan brought a team of Mega Tyranitar, Jirachi, Xurkitree, Ferroseed, Lurantis, Araquanid, versus Steve's Thunderous Therian, Politoed, Alolan Persian, Mega Swampert, Chestnut, and Quillfish. Duncan got outplayed.
He really did, unfortunately. Also, as of recording this, Duncan has not uploaded, so we don't really know what his sets were meant to do or anything like that, or his thought process. So we're just going to be basing this off Steve's side.
Yep.
And looking at it on paper, once Araquanid was gone, Mega Swampert just went in, and it didn't even touch the field. Funnily enough. Sometimes you don't need it to. Turn 1 Z move, getting rid of T-Tar was huge, freeing up Rain to just be free and do its thing. He read his opponent's circuitry very well, taking Hidden Power with Persian and then getting Thundy and on the T-Bolt afterwards was cool. But yeah, it's just Steve played this game perfectly, by far the best game he's played, seemed to get every read right, and one without even needing his biggest deck do anything.
I think the biggest thing this showed here was Steve plays so offensively with his reads that when he's on, it's kind of scary how easy it was for him to predict most of Duncan's team.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, the absolute cojones of this man. Like, Z-moving turn 1?
I respect it.
The man's wild. I think he Z-moved on, like, turn 1 or turn 2, like,
It was
3 times this season.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's done that early, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Definitely gotta respect it. You know, your opponent, you know, sometimes doesn't expect you to just blow your Z-Lit early, and sometimes it just works.
So, him being able just to kind of put so much pressure on early puts Steve in a position where he's allowed to play that aggressively because it puts his opponent on the back foot. And as we saw this game, it put Duncan on a foot he couldn't step back in. He stepped in quicksand with that turn 1 Z move.
Yeah, funnily enough, you know, you mentioned sand, like we said earlier, it just freed up Steve's Rain to just be free the rest of the game, and you don't have to worry about T-Tar coming in to counter Swift Slim or anything like that. Getting the Destiny Bond read right on Araquanid was huge.
Oh my lord.
That was a great play.
Such a good play.
Yeah.
Such a good play.
Araquanid was one of the biggest, you know, threats defensively on Duncan's team, and having that thing gone just freed up Steve to just clean up the game.
One of the things that I think could have put in more work here was Lurantis.
Yeah.
Looking at its matchup versus the team, if Lurantis ever got set up under webs, it would look really, really rough for Steve.
Yeah.
Like, if he got the Hidden Power flying read correct on the chestnut to kill it, Lurantis could have put in a ton of work.
For sure. Absolutely. Circuitry also put in a ton of work this game, but Steve was able to get rid of that as well. But yeah. Well played game by Steve, by far the best he's looked this season, and he proved all the analysts wrong because no one picked him.
He got my luck wrong, and I am sad panda.
Oof.
By the way, I'm locking Duncan every game for him for the rest of the season. I don't care. We ride, we die by the Torcats.
Understandable.
Speaking of ride or die, rip the live comment in our next game. The Milwaukee BEWEARS versus the New York Marauders. Wolfie Glick versus Mr. Talent. The ad revenue missed, man.
I'm so
sorry.
An
F? Can we get an F in like the comment section for Wolfie's ad revenue?
Yeah,
like.
I also apologize for my comment I left on Wolfie's video. He ended up tweeting a screenshot of it. My bad. I just want to formally apologize for that. It's the Rick and Morty copy pasta. I just replaced Rick and Morty with Wolfie because he made a joke in the beginning about his viewers having high IQs, so it just clicked, and I did a thing, and I'm sorry, internet. I'm sorry.
JB made a joke, and it didn't pan out the way he wanted it to.
I know it panned out, but it's just, you know.
Yeah, this game didn't really pan out for Mr. Talent, who brought a team of Nihilego, Gyarados, Latios, and Polion, the GOAT, Stunfisk, and Buzzwole, versus Wolfie's Tornadus Therian, Gengar, Gigalith, Weezing, Mega Blastoise, and Excadrill.
Alright, Reflect DD Gyarados is flames. That was a fantastic set. Had that got set up, that would have been just a easy, cleaned up. It was more of a late game sort of thing, but that was a really cool set to see. Something else that's been really cool was how much work Mr. Talent has been able to put in, bringing, you know, mostly offensive and Polion sets. It's really cool just to see that thing put in so much work.
I'm not a fan of Polion myself. It's cool that he's able to use it.
Yeah.
But, so Stunfisk is turning into BitWare from PCL Season 1. It's doing anything and everything. Hashtag Stunfisk for MVP, now.
I agree with this, honestly. Like,
Hashtag Stunfisk for MVP.
But,
but anyway... the Buzzwole set was really, really good in my opinion. I think it did almost everything it needed to, but the team that Wolf brought kind of pressured too much. Yeah, if he broke Weezing, Buzzwole literally had a chance just to murder everything, and it could have.
I mean, Gengar notwithstanding as well, but Gengar kind of just got sacked early game or mid game, whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter which. But yeah, it just sort of got sacked. One thing I would have liked to see Drew do is play a little bit more aggressively versus Weezing with either Lottie or Nahila go early game, because Weezing just sat in and he just was not able to break them on until way late in the game. When the seed was little, had he been able to get rid of it earlier, you would have had a much better chance to win the game. But Wolfie just played Weezing to perfection, as you come to expect from Wolfie. Is he's one of the best players in the world. Let's be frank about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Weezing was played to perfection, and the one thing I do want to point out with that was Weezing was played so much to perfection that I don't think Blastoise got to shine as much as it could have.
Like, I know it got 3
kills.
Though, yeah.
It still ended up picking up 3 kills, yes. However, the Blastoise set was absolutely awesome, and I think it could have done a lot more work, but that Reflect Gyarados was absolute flames.
It was such a cool setup. I wish that would have worked. That was just so cool.
Talon is building so much heat.
Yeah, he gave a shout out to my boy Vepsis. He's a friend of mine as well. He was helping him build. So, shout out to the front office. Treat your front office members well, people.
Yeah, shout your front office members out. They're awesome.
But yeah, late game, you just got to kill the threat. There was one specific play where Drew had Buzzwole in against X Control. You just got to kill the threat at that point. He wanted to leech life, thinking that would have put him in life orb range, but you just got to kill the threat. I mean, you can't play around with a thing that is just destroying your team. You just gotta kill the threat, bro. And he knew it. Like, it's something he knows, but yeah, it's just like a hindsight thing. You just gotta kill the threat, man.
And I think that's everything I have in my notes here.
Yeah, I have one more thing. Drew played very well on sand for the most part, but he just let his team get 2 chipped down, and Wolfie, took advantage because that's what Wolfie does.
Yeah, Wolfie does as Wolfie does. Now, our last game here was actually uploaded a little bit earlier the day we're recording this. We record on Tuesdays to upload on Wednesdays, just so you guys know, breaking the fourth wall. And Joey's match was uploaded at 2, and I just got home from work, and we went straight to recording so we could get this up for you guys in good timing. We have the BRONX BEARTICS, coached by Joey Pokey MMD, the Strong Jaw himself, versus the Tennessee Trubbish, coached by Deathly I Am. Right. Now, Deathly brought a team of Greninja, Mega Beedrill, Rotom-Mow, Gligar, Gardevoir, and Celesteela versus Joey's Mega Gallade, Kabutops, Volcarona, Bronzong, Toxapex, and Crocodile.
Alright, just again looking at the matchup on paper, there is not a single Volcarona answer on Deathly's team.
Nope.
And yeah. I do like the amount of momentum that and counterplay that Deathly brought for potential Gothitelle, but that's exactly what Gothitelle does. It forces a ton of prep and then doesn't come, and then, well, what are you going to do? Gardevoir was also really cool, but situational. Trace Encore to counter trap and set up on Gothitelle. Again, a lot of prep for a that didn't come, which is, exactly why Gothitelle is so good. But yeah.
There's only Volcarona answer being, quote-unquote answer, being Akka Celesteela is a yikes from the get-go.
Yeah, just really unfortunate. But definitely, he just brought pretty straightforward hyper offensive game with 0 months that live hits or passive sets that allow pretty setup, specifically Gligar versus Mega Gallade defogging on what was a pretty obvious Volcarona switch in. Even though it didn't click Quiver Dance right then and there, it was just pretty passive play. I really do have to question why Tyrantrum or Inboard didn't make an appearance, as they have a pretty decent matchup against Volcarona, can at least take neutral or resisted hits from Volcarona and not let it be as free as it ended up being. So gotta question that a little bit, but it's just, once again, a classic Joey performance of forcing his opponent to do exactly what he wants and completely taking advantage and winning the game. Yeah,
I thought the Rain Dance Bronzong was really cool as well.
For sure. Just giving Kabutops a chance to clean late game does.
Which it absolutely had the chance to. If Greninja gets any chip on it as well, that thing has a straight chance of just OHKOing everything in its mother.
Absolutely. But I kind of gotta start feeling bad for Joey. He brings these win cons that he wants to win with, and he just keeps winning with other things earlier than he wants to. Like, you gotta feel bad for the guy. He just wants to win with, Comfey or Kabutops, but no, he just keeps winning with Volcarona or Mega Gallade.
He wants to win with the fun things that he doesn't get to, because his actual threads do work that people under prep for.
Come on, man, you gotta. Can we get an F in the chat for the low tier mons? Just feels bad, man.
Remember, guys, Stunfisk for MVP.
Yep, for sure, absolutely.
Okay, so we're starting that, and I think that's all of our games this week.
Yes,
that felt kind of quick.
Yeah, it did. Time flies when you have a lot of fun to talk about Pokemon.
Absolutely. It's one of our favorite things to do, and I hope it's one of your guys' favorite things to do, to kind of come on in, comment down below what you guys thought of the games as well. I want to hear what you guys thought, your analysis here. JB, your last words as always.
Hashtag disable ad block.
And with that, we are going to get on out of here today, guys. I thank you so much for watching. Go get yourself a t-shirt. Be sure to comment down below what you guys thought of the games, and subscribe to the WBE channel so you guys know what gets uploaded to when. And ring that dang bell so you know exactly when we upload, because YouTube's system is so perfect and great. We all love it so much. With that, we're going to get out of here today, guys. And peace out, Scouts.
Peace.